you've been working on this for 18 months. You want to launch the brand. How do you come up with the name? Because the name selection is really smart because it has immediate connotations to almonds.
Yes.
But I think the smartest move you was deciding to go down the route of baristas, because that was, like, as an example, how I found it, and also an easier procuring area than, say, supermarkets. Because supermarkets, you're waiting on a big honcho decision maker, whereas in cafes, they're all decentralized. You've got many different people that can make, cafe owners, but yeah, sure, I'll give it a go for a week.
Well, I loved cafes to begin with. So in Europe, anywhere where I was traveling, I would always find the best cafe I could or a roastery and just connected with the people. And so I've had this love of cafes. And I always saw an opportunity. Well, if there's almond milk, someone's got to create a beautiful premium quality almond milk for the cafe market to use. So that was always our number one position. We never wanted to focus on retail, but just the cafes. And making an almond milk that was really high quality, that would work well in coffee. So that was our original proposition. But the biggest challenge, funnily enough, was when we actually launched, we came first at Melbourne International Coffee Expo. Our price point was $1 higher than our major competitor that had literally launched a product that very same day that we had launched. With big budgets, crews on the ground in every state. And all of a sudden we were at war in this ridiculous situation in Melbourne where it was like, how much free stock could you give to cafes? And so actually we realized that retail was in fact an opportunity for us that our competition couldn't access. And so we almost pivoted and, we did pivot actually and ended up focusing more on retail than cafes. We still service cafes, but retail has become a primary focus for us. And that's everything from health food stores, independent grocers, IGAs. And over the last 3 years, we've built our entire business off these incredible independent supporters of ours.
The name?
Almo. So yes, going back to Almo, really simple. Originally it was going to be called Matilda's Milk because being very Australian, I thought, what's a really beautiful, innocent, lovely, neutral name that really can convey the message of being clean and nourishing. And for some reason the name Matilda, just Matilda's Milk.
Do you have a friend named Matilda?
No, but maybe I did when I was younger, some imaginary friend or I don't know, I think Matilda has just always been this beautiful name. But Almo, I watched that amazing Australian comedian tell me, and he did this little skit on YouTube where he would shorten all the Australian words. So when we say breakfast, we say brekkie, ambulance, ambo, service station, servo. And I think I had watched it at the time. I'm like, almond, Almo. And I looked up the word Almo. In Latin, it actually meant nourishing and sacred. So I thought, well, what a brilliant name. And even the feminine, Alma, means nurturing mother. So the fact that milk, nourishing, sacred, there was something really special about the name. To take it a step further, the real reason why I thought this is actually going to work stems back from Greek, alpha and omega, A, O, and my initials in the middle, Almo. Alpha, omega, Linda, Monique, beginning and end. I was like, okay, that's a sign. I'm going to take that. Ooh, we have to run with this product. Just random.
That's so good. No, it is a really easy name that rolls off the tongue. I think it works really well.
Although when I say it, sometimes, depending on your accent, I've got this weird mush of Europe, languages, everything. So when I say it, sometimes it sounds like tickle me Elmo. Not like, depends.
So I get in a lot of trouble from Lauren for this because I've got, I've been told there is a distinct accent in Victoria where if you say celery and celery.
Celery?
So celery, like you earn a salary and you eat celery.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yep. They sound very similar.
Yes.
I've forgotten what the name for it is, but there's words like that. So Ellen and Ellen. Ellen it's really hard for me to say Ellen, the girl's name, and Alan, the guy's name, and make them sound different in conversation.
Yes.
I just find that like it rolls off the tongue a lot easier. Almo, Almo.
Yeah, whatever
goes. Yeah. How did you come up with the package design?
So I was really scared knowing that I was putting a lot of money into producing an almond milk and having very little budget. I sort of designed the product myself. Being an absolute minimalist at heart, I actually instructed a packaging guru who worked at the packaging company we were sourcing our sleeves from, and got her help just to create our product. And I basically said, well, we want something to represent that beautiful almond cream or the paste that we use. We want it to make it look high quality, and less is more. So let's just make it really clean, white. And so working with her, developed just this beautiful design for the brand. It's evolved over time. And now I work with an incredible graphics designer called Chris, and he just really helps me bring to life all these new products. And I think we're going to go through another rebrand next year, something really kapow.
Yeah, you have to do one of those every
out.
2-3 years, new website. Like, it's just that cliche, right?
Yeah.
You have to, I mean, we're doing our website refresh at the moment, but it's just a standard thing in the world of design, unfortunately, but it is also the end product, so you've got to be doing that.
Constantly refining, adapting, redoing.
So you've launched the product. You had great success at that coffee exhibition. I think you won an award there. So you've launched. The first year or so, you're really having to work as a consultant or through your agency on top of doing this, like we all do when we first start out and we haven't gotten funding and we're sort of just door knocking, as you said in one of your interviews. What were those first 2 years like for you?
They were really brutal in the sense that I began Almo and I had almost, I won't say wasted 12 months, but before the product was even launched, there was no manufacturer in Australia that could manufacture our product.
That's right.
So almost living off scraps and dedicating so much of my time and focus to launching the product, and it just wasn't happening. By the time I actually did find a manufacturer, I needed to both fund myself and get a job just to pay for it. Obviously, double the cost to what I imagined. And it was a really scary leap of faith. And so I was working a full-time contracting role and hustling after hours, lunchtimes, on weekends, sitting at cafes, delivering samples. But I've always been a bit of a multitasker, like juggling lots of things at once. And so it was a real challenge to begin with. But really, the most daunting thing was actually leaving that full-time role to focus and dedicate my time 100% on the business. And that was a really lonely journey. And I realized quite quickly I needed to find a community. I needed to find mentors, people that could help support, and also an environment to work in. I was just hopeless at working at home, just mentally not healthy for me. And so I found a co-working space. We're at the Commons. I joined
it's a great little spot.
Entrepreneurs Organisation. There was an accelerator program, so that was fabulous. And even this year, I've been a part of a program called the Marketing Academy, which has been life-changing.